Hello again, fellow YouTubers. Solemn Pleasant here for Team OMG Vanguard. As you can see by the... there's something in my hands. As you can see by the cards here. Now, something I've been meaning to do for a while, and no, this isn't the clan thing because that's still taking some time, but one thing I always wanted to redo after the first time I did it with Monty was my top 12 favorite clans. I figured I should go through and just do them again, and like just kind of rearrange the list, because I feel like the list has definitely changed over the years. And granted, there's like 2 runners-up and the 12 spots, so you're gonna see a lot of clans that I've talked about before, but I'll just kind of go more into detail as to why I like them, and less about what they do, because that's kind of what the clans video is for. So I'm just gonna move this over to the side, and hopefully that's enough space for all of them. So, starting up with the runners-up or the honorable mentions. First one should definitely go Shadow Paladin. And as you can see, I don't really have sleeves for these because I don't really use Shadow Paladin or the other runner-up, I guess you could say. Why do I like Shadow Paladin? It's more of a respect, I think, for them, just because I really respect how they play. Like, unlike Royals and Golds who focus on, like, getting rearguards out, these guys gain their power from retiring rearguards, and that in and of itself is a hard mechanic to kind of, like, mess with and, you know, utilize so that you can actually do it right. Like, it's not just something you can do willy-nilly and just, like, killing off your rearguards, because you do end up suffering for doing that, and I guess I just kind of respect how they go about doing that and how they gain their powers from sacrifice, which a lot of Vanguard clans don't seem to know what that's about. Sacrifice is really something that not a lot of clans even consider, but Shadow Paladin is definitely one that knows that. And granted, it's a really meta clan, and it's one of the few meta clans I enjoy, but I will always, like, enjoy actually playing Shadow Paladin, even though I know they are one of the strongest clans in the entire game. And no, I don't have anything special, I just have Cursed Lancer because I really like his artwork. Pretty cool dude. And I have tried building it once or twice, and they're expensive, and that's probably the main reason why they won't be built, is because they are so expensive, but at the very least, I really do enjoy kind of seeing how their playstyle and just seeing how they run, so that's one. I'll probably give a aerial of that later. The only other honorable mention and the only other clan I really do like that isn't in my top 12 would be Bermuda Triangle, and I got a fancy little SP there that isn't sleeved because I'm an awful person. Is this the white version? Yeah, because Bermuda Triangle likes to do that. I just love their artwork. That is legitimately the only reason it's on this list. Their skills are fantastic. They have a really good mechanic of bouncing back and forth. It's a very rush-based deck, kind of like Spike Brothers, but different in a way. And I would so, just like, if someone said, here's a Bermuda Triangle deck, I'd be like, done, because I really do love their artwork, and I do love their playstyle. It's just, again, super expensive, so there is no way I would build Bermuda Triangles on my own. Just no actual way. But I do love their artwork. I think they're really, really cute and amazing artwork. It's just a clan I really like. And whenever I see somebody playing, I'm like, oh, that's fantastic! And then I kind of feel bad if I end up winning. Because then I'll be like, oh, but I like Bermuda Triangle. So, other honorable mention, Bermuda Triangle. So, let's just get into the top 12. So, at the number 12 spot, I have Die Police. Especially Enigmans. I prefer Enigmans over Die Robos just because Die Robos and Metalborgs are really, really in the meta, and I'm not really someone who's a big fan of the meta, and honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, giant robots, per se. I'm not, like, the biggest fan of them, but I do kind of like the Enigmans, and I like their standing mechanic, but I really do kind of like Die Police is another meta clan where at first, I really did respect it, but ever since Metalborgs came out, I've been kind of very, like, half and half about it, just because Metalborgs are, like, stupid. In a good and bad way, but just, yeah. Die Police has been one of those, I use it, so it kind of has to be in, like, the top 12, and that's why it gets the lowest spot, because, again, it's a clan that I'm kind of very on and off about, but I do love the Enigma decks. Zeal is fantastic, so they've got that going for them. And the fact that they have a very power-based game as opposed to other clans that are just like, hey, let's rearguard focus it. Die Police are like, oh, we can have rearguards, but as long as we have a really powerful Vanguard, we're good, I guess. So, number 12, Die Police. Get over there. There we go. Number 11, Tachikaze. This is one that's kind of gone down on the list a lot, and I think that's just because recent support hasn't really caught my attention, but I do still like Tachikaze. I like their artwork, just robot dinosaurs. What else can you really say about that? Again, their whole retire the rear guard to gain power mechanic is a mechanic I do respect, so, hey, you don't have enough money for Shadow Paladins? Build Tachikaze. They're about the same. And again, new support hasn't really caught my interest, and that's probably why I'm staying with the Raptor Colonel deck, but it's still a nice deck nonetheless, and Raptor Colonel, we have been through a lot, you and I, and yeah, so that's why I get step up from Die Police. And again, robot dinosaurs, what can you really say about that except how awesome that is? So that's my number 11 for Tachikaze. Number 10, Mega Colony. Mega Colony is definitely a clan that I respect, and at the same time I'm just like, oh, Mega Colony, because they barely get support. But honestly, I think they're one of the best clans in the game. I mean, just gonna say that right now. One of the best clans in the game, because Mega Colonies do not take crap from people. They really do not. Like, oh, you're using meta Gold Paladins or some meta deck? Rest all your units. And Grant Master Beetle doesn't do that because Master Beetle is very outdated, but I still like Master Beetle. And Mega Colony's been one of those artworks where I'm like, yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Overall, like, it's been a clan that I haven't played with as much just because there are other clans I just like more. And I think that's the same with Tachikaze. There are just clans I like more than these clans now. But this was a clan this is one of the, like, I think when I was starting to build a lot of decks, this was, like, the one that came in, like, 4 or 5. Like, I think I had 3 decks before I built Mega Colony. But when I tried out Mega Colony, I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty good. And, yeah, I do like Mega Colony. They're a really, really consistent and good clan. So, that's my number 10, Mega Colony. Number 9, Narukami. Now, Narukami really has gone down on the list for me just because, again, there are just clans I guess I like better, but it still holds a special place in my heart as the first clan I've ever used. And this right here is, like, the persona of, like, the physical representation of how the game has evolved. Like, this used to be Thunderbreak Dragon, but it's evolved into a Break Ride and then a Cross Break Ride, so again, reverse. And reverses are pretty awesome in and of themselves. So, I guess I like Narukami in that aspect. Also, just their field retiring mechanic, especially with Eradicators, is definitely something to, when you witness it, you're like, that is an impressive technique. All you Kagura players can shut up because Eradicators do it better. And Vermilion does it better. You be quiet, Overlord. You won't be seeing him on this list. And just, overall, like, it holds a special place in my heart when it comes to favorite clans. I really wish it could be higher, but there are clans I just like more. So, let's see. My number 9, Narukami. Number 8, Dark Irregulars. So, Dark Irregs was a clan I was very hesitant about building just because I knew all my friends have tried building it, and most of them failed, except for Monty. Monty actually does have a Dark Regs deck, and once he actually finishes that, he may publish it. Hopefully. And it's... once the Amon support came out, it was actually relatively easy to build the deck. But I did actually have a deck prior, and then I'm just like, yeah, take that apart, and then I'm just like, hey, Amon's out. Let's just build the Amon deck. And I did. And it was awesome. It still is awesome. That's why it's in a sleeve. The reason Dark Regs are probably still, like, lower on the list and only take the number 8 spot is probably because the other Dark Zone clans I just like more, but I still do like this Dark Zone clan. I think, after I made Spikes, I really wanted to try another Dark Zone clan, and it was between Dark Regs and Pale Moon, and Amon got hit, and I think I built Amon faster, so that probably has something to do with it, whereas Pale Moon took a while to build, so I guess in that regard, it should be higher, but again, I do like their massive soul charging mechanic, but at the same time, it does get kind of tedious after a while, and it's a consistent deck, but after a while, it just kind of like slows and lags at times. I'm just like, meh, Darky Regs. I still really like the clan, though, because their artwork's pretty interesting, to say the least. So, my number 8 pick, Darky Regs. Thanks, Amon Reverse. You're really awesome. My number 7 pick, Aquaforce. This is a clan that I feel like in the past I just disrespected for not giving enough attention to it. Because whenever I tried building an Aquaforce deck, the stuff got so expensive, and I'm just like, I can't build it. So I ended up just like making like rushed builds of it that were just not as impressive as they could be. Because Aquaforce can be a very impressive clan. Their multiple attacks is really something to fear. And Maelstrom is arguably one of my favorite dragons out of this entire game, because unlike every other dragon, it's like, hey, if it can zoom in on that, I'm a tier dragon. What you got? And I just love playing Aquaforce. It's just a real shame that I almost never find the time to actually, like, build it properly. And that's why whenever I actually gave, like, an Aquaforce deck profile, they'd always be, like, crap, just because I never got a chance to build it properly. So, it's a real shame in that regard. But I still do love Aquaforce, and if I could ever actually get enough resources, I definitely would make it properly and make it good. Which I would try to do. I would really try to do that. So, my number 7, Aquaforce. So, my number 6 pick would be Pale Moon. The Spanish Inquisition. Those of you who get that joke, you know what I'm talking about. No one ever sees this clan coming and actually being good, but they are, and I really actually do like this clan. And I really do like my reverse build. Like, it's a build that I'm actually relatively proud of. And I'm just like, yeah, I really like this build. It really does work how I want it to work without it being too expensive. Or needing Lukiers, and just needing Lukier reverse. So I think the deck build probably is more why I like the clan, but their artwork is really, really good. And that's part of the reason why I got into Pale Moon. Also probably because I had Spikes and Darky Regs, and I'm like, should probably build that other Dark Zone clan. And then Gear Chronicle came out. I'm like, god dang it, Gear Chronicle, stop breaking the rules. I'm gonna probably explain Gear Chronicle in another video, but anyway. So, Pale Moon, I really do like their manipulation of the soul. It's a lot like a in and out thing, and it's a little bit like Spikes, but a little bit more like, it's in between Spike and Darky Reg. It really is the medium, and I do like all manipulation of the soul. It's a really fun thing to do, just manipulating my soul, and that's probably why I like Pale Moon a lot. And they can rush, they can be defensive, they can really be both. It's a very in-between clan where it's just like, hey, just play us how you want. And that's probably another reason I really like it. Also, again, artwork. Artwork is a really big reason why it's on the list. So, my number 6 pick, Pale Moon. Number 5, Angel Feather. So, Angel Feather's been a deck that I just have liked their artwork, and I really like Celestials. I just like Angel Feather altogether. And they can really actually rack up power, and they can really do really impressive combos, and the way they combo with their damage zone is something that is really quite impressive. It was really between Angel Feather and Pale Moon for the number 5 spot, just because I don't use Angel Feather a lot, whereas I use Pale Moon a lot, but at the same time I like Angel Feather and the fact that they're mostly angels just a little bit more, so I think that's why I put it at the number 5 spot. And I haven't played a lot with them, but I really do I really have tested like Celestials and stuff, and I really do like that concept. So it's a very nice concept. So artwork and concept are main reasons where people are on this list. So my number 5 pick, Angel Feather. Top 4. Number 4, Link Joker. I think I've expressed enough why I like Link Joker, because I hate golds, so automatically I will like Link Joker. Also, their artwork is fantastic. They made the reverses, so thanks, Link Joker. Omega's a thing, so thanks, Omega, for killing Azel. That was very... thank you for that. Yeah, anything Season 3 Link Joker, I pretty much like it. New Link Joker, but old Link Joker, love it. Especially Chaos Breaker, because Chaos Breaker is MVP of pretty much any Season 3 Link Joker deck except Omega, because Omega just hates your rules and doesn't care, so... And just because I love being mean sometimes. Like, this is... When you see a Link Joker player, you're like, oh god, he is not going to be nice to me this game. So, it's definitely one of those mean clan builds. And, yeah, I gotta have a hate clan in there once in a while, so... I have Link Joker. So, my number 4 pick, Link Joker. Top 3. Number 3, Nubatama. I think the only clan that hasn't moved on my top 12 list. The only one I think that hasn't moved besides maybe Die Police. But, just, yep, Nubatama. Best clan ever. Not the best clan ever, but really effective. Everyone's like, oh, Nubatamas aren't going to be a thing. Hey, we can get rid of your hand and bind your field. Nubatamas. Everybody's just like, oh, they aren't that good of a clan. I'm like, Nubatamas! Like, after I play them and then they lose, they're like, oh, well then, I'm just gonna leave. And I'm gonna be like, Nubatama! Because I love their concept. I love Voidmaster and Dreadmaster to pieces. They're some of my favorite units. Just because of their artwork and because Voidmaster never got any play. What now? I can play Voidmaster. And some of my friends are just like, no, you shouldn't play a grade 3 with 9k and then call it a rear guard. I'm like, oh yeah? Swing at your rear guard. Guard it or lose a card. Lose a card. Lose a card. Lose a card. You can't argue with that. You really can't. I can swing at a rear guard and make you drop something. That's what's going to happen with Voidmaster. And, oh no, I rode Voidmaster on Vanguard. I probably rode him. Oh no. And it barely happens, because again, there's only 2 in the deck, but, yeah. Nubatamas. They are just a troll clan that nobody actually fully acknowledges. Just because nobody really acknowledges Nubatama as a troll clan. It's just kind of there, but it's just like, yep, gonna get rid of your hand. And I love Nubatamas for that. They're the mega colonies that I love more. I guess in a way. Getting rid of... Making oracles and every other clan mad since the beginning of set 1. Number 3, Nubatama. So down to my number 2 picks, and there really isn't much change between them, but I did kind of flip them around. So my number 2 pick is now Spike Brothers. Now, originally I had them at number 1, and that's just because at that time, I was using them, and they were performing a lot more results than my other clan, which is now number 1. And now that's actually kind of reversed, and the other clan's kind of performing more, but that's probably because spikes were upgraded before the other clan was. But, good god, are spikes amazing. Getting 5 to 6 attacks off with, like, an extra 10 power, or an extra 5 power, that is really a really impressive setup. They are a really rush deck, and I really do love their ability to just deck my opponents in the face without really much effort. Just punch, 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 punch. Oh, you still have cards left? Go ahead, try and fight back. Let's see what happens. Now, do Spike Brothers run out of steam? Yes, but I still love them regardless because I just love multiple attacks. That's why I run stands in a couple of my in a lot of my decks, and that's probably why I run Aquaforce as well as Pale Moon, I guess you could say counts, and Die Police, I guess you could say counts. I guess that's why I run stands, because I do like the multiple attacks, because sooner or later my opponent's going to run hand-to-hand. That's kind of my logic behind it, but just spikes. They're a really, really good clan. A lot of people underestimate them, and a lot of people, like, when they talk about the support they get, they're like, oh, it's average. And I'm like, you're not a Spike player, then. Like, when someone's talking about Dudley Emperor, I'm like, you're not a Spike player if you don't know why Dudley Emperor's good. And it's just like, oh, I'm a Spike player. I'm gonna play Lucifer. Dudley Emperor. One of the few 10Ks that still actually makes 10Ks valid. So, my number 2 pick, Spike Brothers. And my number 1 pick should be pretty obvious to anyone who knows me, Granblue. Pirates. What else can you say? Undead pirates. Pirates are the best thing ever. Granblue is the best thing ever. I call things from the drop zone. I use necromancy. That's pretty awesome. I gain a ton of power when I do a lot of different combos. That's pretty awesome. I basically wreck your field because I can call stuff back from the dead even after you kill it. Oh, you got rid of that pesky rearguard? Guess what? It's back. Granblue is just... yeah, it's my overall favorite clan. And I'm really surprised, like, when I did a first top 12 clan video, like, I didn't put this at number 1, and then right afterwards, I'm like, oh, I probably should have put that at number 1. So, now I am, because Granblue is amazing. Cocytus is amazing. Everything in Granblue is amazing. The only reason I don't have a picture of Exceed is because I never actually truly used Exceed that much. I did once in one deck, but that quickly went aside. So I just used something that I had sleeved, so... we get this guy. So, my number 1 pick, Granblue. And I'm just gonna go aerial for a second. Whee! So, yeah, I think that's all of them. So, there are my favorite clans. The runners-up, and then the top 12. Whee! And Granblue's amazing. I probably should state that again. Amazing. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. This was just a video kind of a redo, and we'll have those clan videos out shortly. Still got some stuff to work on with them, but we'll have them out shortly. So, how long does this go for? Oh, wow, this isn't even a half an hour. I'm happy I didn't waste time. So, anywho, this is Alderman Pleasant from Team ONG Vanguard, signing off.